Right now is the best time to get your regional invite to the NAWCQ for 2026. Yeah, that's right. Right now is the best mother effing time. Now, a lot of you guys may be asking, Chris, why do you think right now is the best time? The format is kind of annoying. We got Vanquish Soul K9 here. We got Yummy here. We have Draco Tail here. Why is right now the best time? So, as you guys already know, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For 20 plus years, since the beginning, since 2002. And I got to tell you guys, every time I've been going to regionals, the best time to get your invite and or top 8 has been at the beginning of the regional season. Now, we've already had a few regionals going on since last week, so this ain't the first week of regionals. But for a lot of you guys who kind of struggle to get your invite throughout the year, who kind of take your time, don't have time to go to OTS championships, or you might have time, or you might be able to go to OTS championships, or you can only go to OTS championships. Right now is the best time because the format is not 100% solved. So when I got my invite to the NAWCQ in 2025, I did play Ryzeo, but I played a very unique version of Ryzeo. I played the hand loop version that was using Artifact Durandal and abusing Droll and Logbird. And while it was really good, I was only able to hand loop maybe 2 people at the event, which definitely helped me win some games I probably wouldn't have won if I didn't pull that combo off. Right now, it's the best times because, like I said, the format's not 100% solved. People still are figuring out their deck list, and we really haven't had a YCS showcasing the new decks. The new decks being Draco Tail, Yummy, um, K9, Vanquish Soul, Christrons. So right now, everyone is figuring things out. Some people may be running non-optimal lists. Some pros in your area might be running optimal lists because they're part of inner circles. And then you're also gonna be having people watching, running spreadsheet combos and watching videos from like DB Grinder, trying to remember everything they remembered in that video, but they're gonna end up playing because referencing back to my regional invite I got during the October season of this current year, I was not as good with Ryzel as I am now. Now, I know that may sound like a shocker because people say, hey, Ryzel's a brain dead deck and it's an easy deck to play. It is an easy deck to play, but I'm one of those guys that say every deck is kind of hard to master because there's little intricacies that can make or break you throughout each round. That's the difference between you making top cut and the difference between you scrubbing out. So even though I was kind of, I would say by comparison now, kind of ass with the Riser deck back in October, I was still good enough to finish. I believe my final record was 6 wins, 2 losses, and a draw, allowing me to get my nationals invite for this upcoming year. So once again, I know a lot of people struggle to get their invites. Right now is the best time. Everyone and their mother is focusing on the new decks. Everybody's focusing on these new decks. So if you guys want to play something old like Misu Raizio, like Labyrinth, or if you guys want to play something just something unique and different, like a good rogue strategy like Regenesis, now is the time to play it because once the format gets more solved, once we get more YCSs for the Justice Hunters format, for the Yummies, for the K9s, for the Draco Tails, people are already gonna have those optimal lists out, and the format will be a lot harder. Now, what if you're a player who are playing one of those decks? This still applies to you as well because you just gotta show how good you are with the deck. Because if you master a new deck going into the regional season, or even if you get halfway decent with it going into the regional season, you're gonna have an easier time, like I did back in October, getting your invite than you would going to an event later on in the year. Because the reason why you're gonna have an easier time is because even though you're not playing an optimal list, and this applies to everyone going to that event, but obviously this video is more for the person who's listening to the video. If you can think of some unique strategy that's not quote unquote solved for the format, you may just be able to have an edge over everyone else, at least for the time being, because once things become more optimized, players tend to not experiment with decks as much. And the only players who tend to experiment are people who already have high credentials, who've already topped multiple times in the format. So they really don't care about playing someone else's ratios because they're using their own brain and strategies to do well. Like people forget about these old decks. Like I said, people forget about the old decks. Everyone's focusing on the new decks. No one's thinking about the old decks. But also another thing that's gonna help you get your invite right now as well. This is something people don't think about. It's kind of outside of just playing role strategies. That's kind of outside of just picking a good deck for the event, is honestly speaking, real talk, staying hydrated. Make sure you guys stay freaking hydrated at this event. Right now, it is kind of like a heat crisis in Chicago. Well, not really a crisis, but kind of like a heat wave going across the US. Everywhere is super hot. And when you go into a regionals, even though the convention center is AC'd out and it's pretty cool in there, some convention centers may be a little musty because some AC is not as strong as some other ACs. But also, too, a lot of people after several rounds will be dehydrated and they didn't listen to this video and or they didn't think about carrying with them some hydration powder. Now, this is not a sponsored video. I personally like to use either liquid IV or the element packets. Like I've mentioned this in my nationals video. And I've noticed at nationals versus YCS Houston, I had zero misplays. And the one misplay that I kind of made, it was kind of based on a ruling that I literally forgot about. So, if you guys are wondering what the ruling was, I just didn't know that you could rise across in the damage step, I believe. And that caused me to lose the game because my opponent said you can't use it in damage step. Oh, okay, you're right. But apparently you can because it doesn't start a chain. It just happens. So but yeah, outside of that, I was really good, and I was really surprised. So I forgot where I heard it from. I think one of the pros, I think Christian Urena, he uses like the hydration powders to help him stay energized throughout the day in an event. When I tell you guys, that'll give you guys an edge over the opponents, even you younger guys who may not feel dehydrated. I don't know everyone's medical history or issues. However, for you guys that are 30 plus like your boy, get you a hydration powder. You're gonna be in an event for like 8 hours on your feet with little to no food in your system, drinking water all day like you're good. Trust me, hydration powder helps. Gatorade and stuff, that's cool too, but you want the best of the best for an event, especially you're gonna be spending time all day trying to get your invite because once you get your invite, you don't have to really worry about stressing about an invite for the rest of the year. Also, like I said, bring a snack because when you bring snacks to an event, you can stay from getting hungry and your blood sugar won't drop and you just won't have headaches because when you're hungry and you have headaches, you're gonna misplay. Now, a lot of younger guys might be like how I used to be, where you guys don't get hungry and you guys can tolerate it, and that's fine. I used to be the same way, but I'm telling you, as somebody who's been doing this card game thing for 20 years plus, bringing a snack, at least for people who can't handle their emotions when they're hungry, like myself, who gets really frustrated, have an anger problem, will make you 10 times more better and calm throughout the day, which will lead to you not losing over some BS because you're hungry. And the last thing I want to talk about is don't be afraid to call the judge. Like, calling judge is something that people are afraid to do at times. Now, obviously, when it comes to slow playing and things like that, I would say obviously call the judge if your opponent blatantly slow playing. But I'm more referencing calling the judge when I'm talking about people on rulings. Like I mentioned in this video right now about when I was at nationals and I thought I could use Rise Across in in a damage step. My opponent told me I could not do it. If I would have called Judge at that time instead of just being like, you know what, you're right because you can't use any damage step. And if I wouldn't have been so chill about that, I thought about should I call the Judge? I'm like, nah, I think he's right. But yeah, if you got to think about it, like, hey, if you got to think, should I call the judge right now? Just call ahead and call the judge. Save yourself the stress, and you're good. And don't be afraid to stand up for yourself on rulings either, because sometimes what happens as well, a lot of times people will try to cheat you on rulings or they might play really fast to try to distract you for you don't know what's going on. Tell them like, hey, hold on, let me read this real quick. Let me read that card real quick, and you're good to go because at least that way you know the game state was 100% not tampered with. Now, this don't really happen a lot with people, but I still see it happening here and there all the time. At least with me when I went to nationals this past year, it was really chill. Everyone I played was real cool, and I didn't really have any negative feelings toward any of my opponents all day. We all had really solidly good games, and we were just there to have a good time. So yeah, man. Right now it's the best time to get your invite. So if you guys want your invite, make sure you guys go to the regionals. Why? While the format is not solved yet, because once the format gets solved, it's gonna be a little harder to get that invite. And yeah, this is just free game for you guys out there who are trying to who struggled at the invite, who actually want to play in the 2026 WCQ. So tell me what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Do you guys like videos like these? Let me know. Also, let me know about some of you guys' regional stories. And yeah, while you're in the description down below, check out my channel sponsors. and also check out the Discord. All right, man, it's your boy Rogue, and I'm signing out. Peace. See you guys in the next video.